Most of the times when I hear musicians come to me and share that they are feeling burned out, overworked, and they're not where they want to be in their businesses, chances are it's not because they're lazy, it's not because they're don't have the right work ethic or they're just trying to go for the easy route. Chances are they're working extremely hard but on the wrong things. So in today's episode I'm going to give you some suggestions on how you can detect whether or not your burnout is coming from wasteful activities that are confusing you, or whether your burnout is a sign that you should pivot and reinvent yourself and spend the time that you have on your business in a better way. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to the Musicians Creating Prosperity podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Fabiana Claure. And in today's episode, I'm going to share the experiences I've had speaking with thousands of musicians over the years and seeing the common traits of what causes burnout and why, when you're feeling unproductive or when you're feeling that you're getting nowhere in your business, even though you're working day in and day out, the reason for that is most likely because you're focusing on the wrong things and you're thinking you're productive, but you're actually just busy. Busy does not mean productive. So let's dive in. Why do I feel that clarity is the most important thing in this process? Well, because it's easy to get yourself caught in this motion of constantly working and doing things, right? Especially if you are a quick learner, someone who likes to absorb new strategies and tactics and constantly looking for the best thing to do. It can put you in an illusion of productivity, thinking that you're working really hard on your business and giving it your all and that it technically should be where you want it to be. And most of the times when I speak with musicians who come to me from this place of burnout, overwhelm, frustration, they tell me, listen, I'm working like so many hours a day. And when I ask them, what are you spending your time on? Most of the time, I hear things like I'm editing videos, I'm creating Canva graphics, I'm posting on social media, I'm working on the marketing of my business. But they haven't yet taken the steps to reassess the business model to ensure that all the new clients that come in are actually coming to the right model in the first place. A model that would not trade their time for money, a model that would not have limitations. No, they're forgetting about the model. They're just focusing on growth. And that's usually why, even if they're successful in their marketing strategies, that won't get you to the next level, because once you give all your time away, then your business is going to stay stuck. And we've talked about this in many instances throughout this podcast series. But the reason I want to bring this up today specifically is because I keep hearing from musicians this notion of being busy. It's not a badge of honor. Okay. I know that there's a phrase of like, oh, how's business? Oh, it's busy. Oh, that's good. Well, it depends, right? Busy doesn't always mean good. If you're busy, but you're not getting results, chances are you're focusing on the wrong things. And it's easy to get caught in this cycle, almost like a hamster wheel of illusion of productivity. And it's not going to get you to where you need to be unless you're focused on the right model in the first place. So let's make sure that as you're looking at the way you spend your time, if you're right now running your business and you're feeling very busy, but not where you want to be, you don't see the results, chances are you're spending time on behind the scenes activity. Okay. You're spending a lot of time on operations, meaning anything that has to do with you not being directly contacting and in relationship with your ideal clients. Maybe you're editing videos, maybe you're creating Canva graphics, you're posting on social media, maybe you're doing a lot of automations, building systems, creating workflows, setting things up behind the scenes for your business to grow. Maybe you're building your website. And if that's you right now and you're feeling very busy, there's a reason for that. Is because, yes, you're spending a lot of time and energy, but you're putting it towards the wrong things. Everything that leads to profitability for you as the leader, the visionary in your business needs to be connected with you spending time on marketing and sales. And in order for you spending time on marketing and sales, you must be focusing on front facing activities, things that have to do with you being behind the microphone, behind the camera, reaching out, building connection, building collaboration, not being limited to doing things in the back burner administratively. Those things are only going to continue slowing you down and will cause you to feel this state of stagnation in your business. As musicians, we tend to be very creative, very productive, very prolific in our work output. But if you're working on the wrong tasks, you're just getting yourself further and further down and stuck in a cycle that will never end. So it's important that when you see your schedule, I like doing time audits and really taking time to assess, what am I spending time on, right? And these are some of the things that I do with musicians very, very often is like, looking at your day-to-day activities. Where do you spend most of your time on, and what are the outputs of that effort, right? So if you right now would do an audit of your calendar, believe it or not, the way I see it is your calendar is a reflection of your priorities. And if you want to create more wealth, build a better business, but you're not putting any time towards that specific goal, meaning you're getting caught up in a lot of administrative tasks, scheduling, emailing, communications, things that don't actually allow you to build a visibility in your business or to actually interact with potential clients, then none of that is actually going to get you to the next stage in your business. Or if you're only working in your business but not on your business, and you're not producing activities that are a result of your strategic thinking, you're not separating your space in your week for actual strategy, reevaluating what you're spending your time on, and potentially redesigning your schedule and your calendar, then every week it's going to be a repetition of the previous week. And it's the same cycle over and over and over and over again. And that's where you find yourself after weeks and weeks and weeks, and sometimes months and sometimes years, you find yourself in a place of stagnation. Like, where's all this time gone? How come I'm in this place that is not like moving forward? Right. And so, what I would encourage you is, if you're finding yourself in a place of burnout, take a pause, take a moment to stop, right? And reflect. What are you spending your time on? And this podcast will give you so many ideas, right? On what should you be doing instead. Hey, quick pause here. If you are a musician, music educator, or creative entrepreneur who's built a successful business, I need to ask you something. Do you feel trapped by your own success? Maybe you have steady clients, consistent revenue, maybe even a team, but you're working more hours than ever. You can't take time off because everything depends on you. You've become the bottleneck in your own operation. Sound familiar? Here's the truth. You're not failing, you're just succeeding without the right systems. The skills that got you here aren't the same ones that you need to scale. I know because I've been there. I founded my music academy in 2011, and by 2016, I had built the systems to manage it completely remotely on autopilot. That success led to my online business, which replaced my university salary and gave me the freedom to build a lifestyle business on my own terms. I've also helped countless musicians around the world do the exact same thing, win back their time while exponentially scaling their income on their own terms. That's why I'm hosting my free Autopilot Your Music Business Masterclass to show you exactly how you can do this too. Go to musiciansprofitmasterclass.com and secure your spot right now. Imagine having the freedom to focus on what you love the most while your business thrives on autopilot. That's exactly what we'll build together. Now, back to today's episode. One of the things that I like encouraging our clients to focus on is connecting and creating, making sure that they're putting time intentionally every week for creating content that could attract clients and people into their world, whether it's organically, whether it's putting themselves in front of others and being a speaker or presenter on other people's audiences. It could be in a social media exchange. Maybe you can present in someone's Facebook group or present in someone's podcast. Find a way to put yourself in front of other people. That's the creation, the connecting side of things. And then, of course, when you connect with people, then you're going to want to engage in conversations, nurture those relationships, find a way to turn these initial interactions, especially if you're posting content regularly. I find sometimes that even in my own business, we are so prolific in creating value and adding to our community that sometimes we forget to make sure we go and see how people are responding to that content. So maybe that's you too. And so this is something you want to be looking for. Don't just post content and forget about it. Make sure you have a system for looking back and seeing who are the people that engage, that raise their hand. This is the era where the best way you can create that organic magnetic attraction field is by creating content that really attracts your ideal client, that speaks to their internal belief system, that speaks to their needs, desires, pains. And if you're just posting content, but you're not taking the time to assess the effectiveness of that content and how it could, impact your next content batch, meaning what worked, what didn't work, what resonated, then you're always going to find yourself in this place of like, I'm doing all this work, but I'm not seeing the results. Right? What's the purpose of content? Well, on one hand, it's going to build your brand, of course. Content is intended to be a way for you to amplify your voice in your community and to get people to develop that know, like, and trust factor with you. However, content on its own is not going to help you grow your business. You must also create connection through that content and find ways to resonate with your ideal clients and start conversations, whether it's engaging with those who comment and engage in your posts, whether it's building an email list and having people sign up for some sort of free resource and join a community where you can start a conversation and nurture them over a period of time. But there needs to be a continuation to that content strategy where you can connect with people and build those relationships that eventually can help you grow your business, right? Those people who are around you, they can eventually become clients. But this has to be designed very, very intentionally. And this is why, if all you're doing day in and day out is editing videos, posting things on social media, in the production side of things, think of it as being stuck in producer mode, editing materials, designing Canva graphics, putting things that are always behind the scenes, then that is not going to allow you to build those relationships, right? If you could instead hire someone to do that for you and outsource those tasks, literally you're going to be investing that time in a much better way in your business, rather than creating yourself a challenging situation where you are not able to earn what you need because you're spending time doing tasks that you could easily outsource to someone who potentially could be more capable than you, even doing things and helping you create space and energy to do what you must do as it relates to being the front face of your business, the visionary, the leader, the strategic problem solver. And that can't happen if you're busy doing a lot of the production side of things, like editing videos, posting graphics, creating automations, workflows. It's just not compatible. And yet I can understand how sometimes when we learn to do those things, there's a feeling of pride and self-sufficiency that, oh wow, I learned how to edit videos, I learned how to design graphics, I learned how to do these things, I now know how to create email marketing sequences, newsletters. Like, I feel empowered, I feel capable, I feel worthy, right? And I can relate to that because, of course, we like to feel capable. This isn't about you thinking you can't do all of these things. Many of the clients that I've worked with and helped them restructure their time, they were good at it, but it still was not a viable use of their time. I hope that makes sense. It's not because you're not good or you cannot do it. It's because when you look at the way you should be spending your time as it relates to creating content and creating conversations and speaking with people and connecting, if you're not doing that, then everything else you're doing is literally costing your business thousands of dollars, right? And then, of course, that's where the burnout comes. That's where you start feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, not knowing where to go. What can I do? Well, that's why. It's because you're working hard, not smart. So it's really important that you give yourself some grace. Forgive yourself. Don't feel bad about having wasted time, or don't feel bad that it was like a waste of learning this skill. I shouldn't have learned this. I don't think learning is ever bad, but you need to be able to say, okay, what got me to this point in my business is not the same thing that's going to get me to the next level. And maybe it's okay that I let go of all of these initial skills that I had to learn to get to this point, and I'm willing to embrace new skills to get to the next level. Even if that means relearning or unlearning some of the things to incorporate new skills, new approaches, new ways of thinking into the next stage of my business growth. So if you're tired, if you're burned out, ask yourself why. Why am I burned out? There could be also some energetic reasons that are causing you to feel this burnout and tiredness. And it's not just how you're spending your time, but it's also what you're spending your time on. Here's the thing. You may be spending your time on things that don't require a lot of time, but that they drain your energy, right? Let me know if you can relate to this. Sometimes we don't spend a lot of time on tasks, but we spend a little bit of time, but we absolutely get drained. Like, it sucks the life out of us. And that's something you're going to need to be very aware of as well. It's like, okay, maybe it's not that you're spending hours on the wrong thing, but maybe it is that the time you're spending, you're putting it on things that quickly drain all your energy. And that's another red flag for you to look at and say, well, even though I only spent 30 minutes on this today or 1 hour on this today, it took all of my energy away. I felt tired. I felt unmotivated. I felt depleted. And it's an energetic incompatibility. Yeah, the thing you're spending your time on is something you should not. Whether it's 10 minutes, 2 hours, it does not matter. It's just draining you, and you should stop doing that. So don't only go by how much time things take from you, also go by how much energy things take from you. I hope that makes sense, right? And so my recommendation is, again, do a time audit, look through your entire day, spend a week tracking, right? And ask yourself, where are the energy drainings in this schedule? What are the things that I feel are burning me out and that I should consider reassessing, reevaluating? Sometimes you have to delete these things, sometimes you have to delegate them, and sometimes you realize, wow, I've been holding on to this task. Turns out I don't really need to do this anymore. Or maybe you could automate it. Maybe you could use artificial intelligence to create systems for it and take things off your plate, or a virtual assistant. or even someone in your household. There may be things in your household that are draining you that you don't even notice them because you're so used to just doing them and not questioning that activity. So I hope this helps. If you're feeling burned out and if you feel like you need some extra support, feel free to reach out. You can book your call through the links in the show notes. And my team and I will be happy to connect with you and help you find what could be those potential places where you are draining all of your energy and time. And even though you're feeling productive, it's not actually getting you to where you want to be. And it's more a busyness than it is an actual productivity that is going to be conducive to growth. Remember, just because you're busy doesn't mean you're productive. Okay. So be aware, look through everything. Don't operate in a place of just unconscious repetition, repetitive behavior, but ask yourself, is this thing I'm doing really necessary? Is it the best use of my time? And if you need more help answering those questions, then feel free to reach out, book a call, and we'd be happy to help you clarify all of this. I hope it helps. You don't have to be burned out because when you work in a place of burnout and overwhelm, then you can't show up fully for your students, for your clients, for your family, and most importantly, for yourself. So I encourage you to look for ways to protect your emotional energy and to do the things that fill your cup so that you can be of best service to those around you that mean everything. Okay, let's go. I hope to hear from you. And until next time, let's prosper together.